Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. And yeah, I'm Jeffrey from Hashi Capital. I'm really in charge of all the investment research and also especially on tech side, doing all the technical research and also technical. Yeah, so today, as you has already noticed that today our topic is about channels, especially on Bitcoin's offering things. And yeah, and it's my honor to start this today's sessions talking about the Bitcoin gas. So yeah, so why channels? Why we talk channels today? So we want to start from our solutions, especially Yume gas, because I will talk about Bitcoin gas. So yeah, a little about me. So as you know, I'm really in charge of the investment, and also I'm contributing to the Bitcoin or Big Tech newsletter, translated to Chinese every week, together with our friends every week. So yeah, so we have done lots of the Bitcoin research, and especially based on this research, we have done lots of the Bitcoin investments from the sidechain to like mining tools to wallets, Libra, to the rollouts, to the and also probably the channels purchase later on. So yeah, so that's a little bit background about us and also me. And recently, especially maybe you have already noticed that we also launched the Bitcoin ETF. So that's also another support from our side. So yeah, so let's back to our topic today. So maybe you have already noticed that lots of Bitcoin gas. So that's the things I searched on the Twitter. You may also search on that, so you can see if you search by the Bitcoin gas, you can know. So yeah, lots of things are saying that Bitcoin gas is surging, Bitcoin gas is so high. So all things like that. So yeah, but me as a nerd, I want to see that. Stop saying gas, okay, guys? Stop saying that because yeah, that's probably not something we should talk about because it's not a Bitcoin gas. Because why we cannot call it as gas? So that's some reasons you can also we can to conclude it into why we need channels. So that's maybe the behind these two kinds of things. We can have the same reasons for that. Yeah, so because we can compare it to that with like maybe from the Ethereum to the Bitcoins. So the two different things actually have completely different concept of that. Because from the Ethereum that you can see, I think maybe most of you have this kind of experience. When you execute some transaction on Ethereum, so probably you will fail and you can get some gas, but the gas you pay cannot be refunded to you after the transaction has been failed. Right. So that's maybe some website you can just check how much gas you have been cost from the failing of the transaction. Yeah, but why Ethereum is like that? Because probably I missed the one important page is that because yeah, it's a very famous page that I want to refund my Ethereum gas, but no one yeah. So why Ethereum is like that? Because our nodes on Ethereum just want to compute something just on themselves to redundantly to compute the same thing because it has a global state machine inside of that. So you have to compute redundantly for all the same thing. So transaction when if we fail, if they like maybe just execution incorrectly or maybe you can process it too long, so that transaction will fail and you don't have enough gas to pay. So yeah, but why not refund the gas? Because the gas just prevents you to from the DDoS the whole system. So that's the gas meaning and it's the functions of the gas. So and from the name you can also see that gas is something like gasoline you have to burn. Whether you get to the destination, it has to be cost. So that's the meaning of gas. So what will happen on the Bitcoins? Like maybe so you will also cost the gas when you have put some transaction on the Bitcoin? No, right? Because as long as it's like confirming the Bitcoins, then the transaction fees you can guarantee that the transaction has been executed on Bitcoin. So that's the main differences you can get from Bitcoin itself and Ethereum. But maybe there's a chat here. So that's a fee you have been you can find on the Bitcoin Explorer. So that's something completely different on the Bitcoins. So why Bitcoin is like that? Is it like maybe Bitcoins is some people that believe that you should get things down when you get paid? Probably not, because the popularity of Bitcoin is verification only. So that's something like maybe you have already verified that transaction on Bitcoin. So that fee actually is just cannot be like be failed because it has been already been verified on the node. So that's something completely different. But why you have this kind of difference between the Ethereum and Bitcoin? So that's behind this thing. The reason might be maybe you can see that's a completely complete the completion and non-complete completion of the verification. So that's the two things on the design philosophy of the Bitcoin and Ethereum. So because on the gas model, the Ethereum, the design reason behind that is we have to turn the completion models from the two complete to the non-complete. So yeah, so that's the gas must be introduced to make it happen. So to make it the computation to start on this kind of level. But Bitcoin, actually, the fee model is more like on the, you can just determine on the how much block space the transaction need to be. So that fees can just only be calculated on the how much space you need. So that's the completely differences based on this kind of computation models. So yeah, so that's also make a differences like Ethereum transactions. If you can just say, if I need to pay to someone, that transaction actually is just based on the calculation because I need to calculate all the state machines from state 1 to state 2. So that's the things I need to. So that's some things happens when I pay to someone else. But somebody else, like AKA all the nodes on the Ethereum nodes, actually they need to computation that they need to do that computations for me, maybe like for between me and another people, and get that account balance after the transactions. But Bitcoin transaction transfer sections actually is more on the verification side. So it only needs to verify the UTXO. So whether UTXO just you can meet the requirements from script, like maybe you just can provide a signature and can meet all the requirements of the script, so that you can make that transaction. So that's also the design philosophy between each other. So yeah, it's more on if we put it into a more high level concept, you can see that it's more on the sovereign individuals of the Bitcoin. So because Bitcoin design philosophy is more like independently you can verify. So actually Bitcoin does not need a full global state calculated by the other full nodes. So that's also the meaning why we need to run a full nodes by ourselves. So that's also something you can see that. Yeah. So yeah. So let's try to back to the topic today. So why we need transaction? Why we need the channels? Because right now it may challenge me that because from all these layer 1, layer 2 to layer n. So that's layer n is not a Lightning Network, but the layer on top of the layer n. So all the layers actually can handle the transaction, can handle the payment, or maybe something like. So why do we need channels like Lightning networks to do that payment? So is this something like it's too simple, or maybe some function is not so enough like this? But actually, on the core, the channels can just it's only for several things individuals. You just handle like maybe me and another people. So that's only the efforts of some very small group of people. So you don't need to involve all the people in the whole network to consume the gas or maybe other resources to maintain the global state machine. So that's probably lead to something like gas. So and besides that, if it's not only about two individuals. Actually, all individuals can just form into a network. So the network is more like an internet network. So that all the transactions, all the nodes can be connected with each other. So all things like maybe transaction can be routed from one node to another and to another. It's more like internet on this sense. So yes, from this sense you can see. So the problem like the TPS or maybe scalability of the network actually losses maybe doesn't make too much sense. It's maybe more like the questions how much the net speed of the whole internet. So it's more like that. And this is also a pictures showing the structure of the Lightning Network, but probably is possible. Yeah. So other metrics, so maybe there also be people talking about other metrics of the Lightning Network, like maybe the how much nodes and how much like the TVL of the Lightning Network. And actually, it's maybe less with less meanings in this kind of we talk about the Lightning networks, because on the nodes actually it's not different. It's quite differences from the validators on Ethereum or maybe other kind of nodes, because the nodes here, as mentioned about the internet, it's more like on the nodes of the whole internet. So how the internet, so the Lightning networks nodes are not validators to maintain the global ledgers. So it's more like on the it's a terminal on the route to send or receive data packets. Still more like on the internet. And for TVL, actually inside channels, it could be like transfer back and forth. You can see that for many times. So that's could be reused for many times. So it's not like something you lock into a smart contract. You want to get some yield from that. Actually, the grid could be reused for many times when you put into the channel. Yeah, so but the channels and also like maybe like network, there are still lots of things need to be improved, like from the user experience side, like maybe it's still very hard to get the initial liquidity, but there's still many solutions in this sense, like maybe there's some solution like submarine swap and the channel leasing and this kind of thing. And also maybe you can optimize all the channel management from the LSP. So that's also maybe UX improvements you can get from nowadays. And probably some other speakers will also talk about these things today. And from the other side, if you want to add some fundings to the channels, there are also some solutions like channel splicing. This kind of solution could do that. So it's not a one-time business, but you can add some funds after you establish your channels. And yeah, and there's also for the payment, there's also like a static QR code to receive the payments. So there are also some solutions to do that, like both ELV and also LNURL. So yeah, and besides that, you can also pay maybe with another Bitcoins, pay by maybe other assets from beside the Bitcoin, because maybe you have already went to the Bitcoin Asia's main menu. So actually, I bought some coffees by Lightning networks in the main menu. So, but it hurts me because I paid by Bitcoins. So the solution I do that is that I need to buy some Bitcoins from the exchange to cover the Bitcoin I paid for. So, but yes, my solution to that, another solution besides that, by some access from the exchange is that we will have a type of access. I think Mobile will also talk about this today. And yeah, with that, maybe hopefully we can get some stable coins on the Lightning network so that we can just pay by the stable coin. So yeah, so the last page is that, so why we channels we want to, if you want to maybe align more with Bitcoins, and if it is, you want securities is more aligned with the Bitcoin itself, and the performance actually has no limits on the theoretically and can verify independently. So that's channels maybe something you may want in the future. So that's something I want to share with you today. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
You just mentioned maybe some other assets over Bitcoin can unlock some other use cases. But the thing is that if you have other assets, then you will have a permission model for this asset, right? Because you don't have the programmability of Bitcoin, and so you may have to, for example, you can't really design a contract like Ethereum. total issuance of this asset. How do you handle this kind of challenges over Bitcoin?
Yeah, let me maybe repeat your question. Is that if we have more assets on Bitcoin, so actually we need some other solutions to record that assets.
Yes.
Well, actually, I think this is not a very big problem. Yeah, because when you're running something like the capital assets client, so actually the clients actually you can handle all the balance you can get from the from your own.
But the thing is that you will have to do some step update. So you will have to make some changes to the global state, when you want to issue some stable coin, some more stable coin over capital assets. How do you do that in a permissionless way?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a question, a good question. Because actually, all the nodes actually maybe you can maybe think back to the design, maybe development ideas of the Bitcoin. So actually, all the transaction actually doesn't need to put all the data on the Bitcoin. So actually, the things you need to do actually put some commitments on the blockchain. So basically, it's some kind of hash, and that hash can be used as a Merkle tree.
Another thing about Bitcoin is that when there are so many people who want to update this state, and there will be some competition, right? So even if you can put some state on the Bitcoin network, the thing is that there are so many people who bet on this asset. They all try to update this state. Will there be some problem for that?
I don't think it is a problem because if you get some if you get some assets on your own, in your own address, actually you can send it back to the maybe later. So actually, you don't need to compete. Like there's rising conditions between each other to do that. So actually, I don't think there's some like maybe condition between each other.
Yes. For Ethereum, we can do it. We normally do it with the centralized sequencer, right? So for Bitcoin, my question is that can we do it in permissionless way?
Actually, I don't quite get your question about the centralized sequencer.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I think this is a good question.